such a surprising film. You think it's one thing, twists and turns. I mean, I can imagine it was something that when you read it, you thought it was very, very fresh and very exciting, but also had such a great story about these two characters.
Yeah, it was like nothing I'd read before. And it felt, impossible to sort of categorize it, which I still feel is very true in the final product. Like, is it a horror movie? Is it a thriller? Is it kind of like a French movie?
Yeah.
What is it? I think it is new. I think, and that is one of the things that compelled me about it.
Yeah, and let me ask you about your young co-star, who is just tremendous in the movie. I mean, how was it working with him? Because they say sometimes don't work with children, but he has such a presence on the screen. The two of you have such a great relationship. I can imagine it was like that in real life as well.
Yes, I mean, it is imaginary because it was very important to me, and our other three producers and Sarah and I, we're all mothers of young children, and I had a child exactly the same age as Parker, and so I was very in touch with how vulnerable a 5-year-old really is, and I didn't want him to have to feel for 1 second that his boundaries were crossed in the way that the characters' boundaries are crossed. So we kept it really technical. Sarah or I would be like on our knees saying, okay, when I clap my hand, you're going to look over here, and then you're going to say, I don't want to go. And then he would sort of look and go, I don't want to go. And we say, no, you're going to sing it. You're going to sing it like the way I'm singing it. I don't want to go, And so in a way, we kept it really technical. You can't ask a 5-year-old, like, can you go deeper into your experience here? I mean, they don't understand that, And then sometimes we shot it just like a documentary where we would have a long lens and have him across the room and he wouldn't even really know the camera was on him. And and the thing about Parker is he's very smart, and he's also not a performer. And sometimes you see kids at 5 who are already performing themselves, but that's not Parker.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, not to give anything away, but about the ending. I mean, are you hoping that it leaves the viewers with a sense of ambiguity, that they ask their own questions and they come up with kind of their own answers as to what happens and where these characters go?
Yeah, you answered it already. I mean, of course, it's designed to make you, it doesn't say, here's your antagonist, here's your protagonist, now you can chill out, take care of this for you. It really doesn't. You don't know whether you're supposed to be on her side or not, if your heart is breaking for her, is there something wrong with you? It constantly shifts, and that's what I may have said to you. I feel like in some ways it's like a roller coaster, like you get on it and you can't get off it, and then you think, okay, it's gone too far, and you're on the other side, and then you have the very end, and I think it does leave you having to think for yourself, which I do think people like to do. Of course, there's sometimes it's nice to just chill out and let someone else think for you and watch a movie that's nothing, but I think humans like to have to think and like to be challenged and like to have to consider for themselves instead of getting told,
If you looked at the poster for this one, you might think it's a kind of, a semi-comedy about a teacher and this kid who, but it's also so surprising that it's got these thriller elements. I mean, what was it about this particular material that spoke to you when you adapted it for the screen?
Well, I think the moral ambiguity certainly was something that excited me, and it felt very new and fresh. And I think I was excited. It's an adaptation of an Israeli movie. I was really excited to take what was a very beautiful story and really anchor it in a female point of view, and hopefully tell a really challenging and complicated story about a woman who has been a caretaker for 20 plus years and has been feeding and feeding and feeding others, and now she wants to be fed, and she's creatively starved and wants so desperately to be part of the creative process in some way.
Yeah. I mean, I know you premiered the film at Sundance. I mean, was this one of those movies that was difficult to get off the ground, or did you find that it was very, very easy to get the script out and get the movie made?
Well, I think the moral ambiguity of it kind of was maybe tricky with financiers at the very beginning, but I think once Maggie came on, there was like more and more support for it, and I think it compelled a lot of women, and really I think moved a lot of women when they read the script, and we got it off the ground, and I think it's had a great reception this far.
Yeah, let me talk to you about Maggie. I mean, she's so good in every performance. She gets better and better, and this one is probably her best. I mean, what were the qualities of her that made her perfect for this role?
Well, I think she has a natural relatability mixed with, I suppose, a sort of intensity and a boldness and kind of lack of fear that I think is so rare in this industry. And I see her taking on projects that I just very much admire. And I thought that she would be kind of the perfect blend of having these two characteristics of being empathetic on the one hand, but also kind of having this sense of daring. Yeah. So I thought it was kind of a great match for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!